Okay. Echo. Okay. Can we see me and hear me? Okay, awesome. There is so much shadow on my table. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see. No, that didn't help. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Next time I have a craft room, I'm not going to be by the window. Anywho, it took me a while to get set up because I decided to do some things first. Sorry, I know I'm not looking at anybody, but I'm trying to fix my screen here. Anyway, nobody cares about that. I don't know where this shadow is coming from. That's going to drive me bonkers. Anyway, I was busy doing something else that was probably less important, but I was doing it anyway. So, hi. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for staying with me through the chaos. So today we are going to make cards with a lot of shadows on my table and with the Brewed For You stamp set and the Brewed dies. So let me try to figure out how. I know when I double click. Okay, well that takes me off the screen, but that's fine because I don't know why I can't get the I have the thing clicked. Maybe this works. No, that just makes me extremely large. I should be. Oh, okay. Well, that just puts me in a weird spot. Maybe up here. Nope. Sorry, friends. Enjoy the show. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna just forget me for a minute. So anyways, we are gonna work with the Brewed For You stamp set, and this is one. I'm gonna lift this up a little bit here. This is one that is in. All right, sorry. We're gonna get rid of me because it blocks off too much of my screen. Okay, hide me. Goodbye. All right. So let me do this here. Okay. Wow. So we're going to use this stamp set here, which is a carryover from last year, and that is on page 92. And then the dies that we're using today are on page 162, and they are called the Brewed dies. And these dies are great because not only do they have dies that cut out the coordinating stamps, but they also have dies that can just be used by themselves that create a lot of really neat detail. Look at this, you guys. Stamparatus magnet. Thanks, Tammy. Okay, so these are the dies, and you can see there's a few here that have these really cool detail on them, and then this one here, and then there's a couple other. This is hops for beer, and then some of the leaves from the plant. So I'm not going to need any of those today because I'm sorry, I'm moving my other camera out of the way so I can get this box off my desk so I have more room. Okay. So I'll show you the cards first. I'm sorry, everybody. I am such a hot mess. I was so prepared and then I just made some bad decisions. Okay, so these are the cards we're going to make today. And I use the same stamp set and the same dies for everything. The only other thing I pulled in, obviously, besides paper, was an embossing folder. And this is from the Basics 3D embossing folder set. So let's go ahead and get started with those. We're going to make the blue one first. And when you get your kits, in your kit for the first card, you will have a die cut circle cut from Stitch Shapes. Thanks, Robin. I'm glad you like them. And you will have this panel here, Blueberry Bushel, which we are going to be stamping the background. And then you will have a strip of crumb cake. It will not be stamped. You will need to stamp this yourself. I used Memento Black. And then for all of your projects, you are going to need to stamp 3 each of these different glasses. So you'll need 3 of the drinking glass, and you'll need 1 in copper clay, 1 in pecan pie, and 1 in crushed curry. Thanks, Patty. I'm glad you like them. And then I'm probably at the wrong term for this. I call this a snifter glass because it has a short stem, and wine glasses don't usually have a short stem. But I'm calling it a snifter glass. You can call it whatever you want, but just for reference in the video. And I'm totally not on screen. Are you guys glad that you're seeing all of these glasses I'm pointing to that you can't see? Okay, I think it's because my camera is so far up and I'm not used to that. Okay, so there we go. So you've got copper clay, pecan pie, and crushed curry. And then you'll need to stamp this glass, and you'll need to do a copper clay and then 2 pecan pies. And you will also need to stamp and die cut 3 of these little foam toppers. So that's what you're going to need for your cards. That's all the stamping outside of sentiments and the background we are going to create. Brandy Snifter, I mean, well, same, Patty. I would have no idea either. I just looked at it and thought, okay, I think that's a snifter. And I have no idea. So if I'm wrong, someone let me know. Okay, so we are going to start by doing the background. And I could have pre-stamped this, but I wanted to show you how I stamp backgrounds, because I start in a certain place so that I can make sure that I'm able to place the image that I'm using all over the background. Snifter, Swiffer, Sniffer, something like that. It's a new mop. It's the Snifter Swiffer. Okay, so for stamping this background, you are going to need this stamp. Now, pardon my stamps. This set was used with Stays On ink, and I have done my best to clean them. I did not do a good job after I first used it, and this was around the time that the stamps first came out. So, crafting sin. A sniffer glass. I don't know. Somebody Google it. Okay, so for the background, when I do this, when I want to cover a piece with most of an image, and I do this if I'm using multiple images, but that can sometimes be a little trickier. So for just using one image, I start in the middle, or as close to the middle as I can get, and I'll just stamp there. And then I will start moving out and up and down, stamping in different directions. Okay, Brandy Snifter. All right. All these years, Tammy's been calling it a sniffer glass. Funny. Okay, so then I'm going to choose a different direction for whatever I want my next stamp to be. If you're watching this on replay and you don't want to care, and you don't care about this part, please feel free to fast forward. Or if you're watching live and you don't care about this part, carry on with something else and come back when you want to. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then our circle is going to cover some of our stamps, some of our stamping, but I like to just do it anyways. You could always take your die cut and draw. You could place it in the center and you could draw around it and then just stamp, you know, within that area and not have to worry about covering everything. But this is just kind of how I do it. So and I just kind of rotate my stamp as I go along. And this is one of my favorite techniques. I don't feel like I do it often enough, but I really like it. It's a good way to stretch your supplies, to add interest to your card. I just think it's a lot of fun. It's just kind of like making your own background paper. And don't worry if it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes it can be a bit trickier. Like you'll see here, I have like a much bigger space. That's going to be covered by this. But sometimes when you're using multiple sized stamps, it can be a little tricky to make sure that you get your spaces filled adequately. I'm trying to think while I did this, and I did not do a very good job of placing my stamps. I have big gaps, but that's okay. Again, there's no need for it to be super perfect. You're just creating a background. Can everybody see that okay? Or is it too dark? It looks dark on my screen, but that could be because I don't have no, my brightness is turned all the way up. Let me know if it's too dark on your end. You think it looks awesome. Geesh, my typing today. My typing's like that every day, I think. Okay, good. So you can see it. So let me move this out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and adhere this down. I'm going to use my Tombow, which fell over. Jason's chat is not showing again this week. He says hi. Okay. Tammy, that is why I always start in the middle and move out. And sometimes I'll even practice on a piece of scrap paper or, you know, like printer paper, because it helps me see the pattern better. And some stamps can be tricky, but I love it. I did this on, I have a card for Saturday that I did something similar on, and I don't know, I just started really enjoying to do it lately. It's fun. So then you're going to have your circle, and you will need some of your die cuts. You are going to need a snifter with copper clay, or you can use whatever, whichever ones you want. These are just the way I chose to do them. My color combo for this card was blueberry bushel, copper clay, and crushed curry. So that's what I chose to do. So let's go ahead and adhere our circle down. And all of the circles are the same size, and they are all from the Stylish Shapes. Then I'm going to adhere down the beer glass. I have ink all over me somehow already. And then for this glass, I'm going to use dimensionals. You can use a foam sheet and cut it down to size if you prefer. And I could probably put another dimensional down on the very bottom of the glass, but you can decide if that's what you want to do when you make yours. I feel like I'm having a hard time seeing right now. I had my reading glasses on before I went live, and it always messes with my vision. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but I feel like I can't see as well when I take them off. And then we're going to adhere the foam. I forgot how much I loved this stamp set. I just think it's so fun. And then you'll have your sentiments that you will stamp on your strip of crumb cake. And when I do something like this, when I cut angles on my sentiment strips, I make sure that I'm lining it up so that the sentiment's in the middle first, if that's where you want your sentiment to be. And then I just kind of eyeball where I want to snip the ends. Or you could leave it totally just like this. It makes, no difference. It's just kind of what your preference is. But I like to see at least where the middle is so that my sentiment isn't all, kitty wampus when I adhere it. I know I love this bundle, Tammy. I really have enjoyed pulling out some bundles that I have not used in quite a while and using them. it's fun to like revisit old favorites. And I feel like we have so many fabulous sets in our annual catalog that, you know, all the bright and shiny things, new things, kind of take our focus away from that. So there you have card number 1. And I did not do any embellishments on these cards, but if you would like to do embellishments, you certainly can. I have secretly been wishing that we had crystal effects still, because I think it would be so fun to use on these. All right, card 1, let's put that away. And then for card 2, I went ahead and I pulled, now correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know the name of the DSP, but it goes with the Earth and Elegance suite. And I don't have the stamp and dies, but I have the paper. But I don't know if I'm getting the name wrong. Thanks, Kathy. I'm glad you love it. So, Patty, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I notice when I, apply a Wink of Stella to a stamped image, it does something to the ink. It makes it, run isn't the word I'm looking for, but it definitely makes the ink kind of separate or dissolve in certain areas, like you've added more liquid to it. So I avoid doing that a lot of the time. Flicking, I could definitely flick. I just thought it'd be really cool for like the liquid to be shiny. I did find a bottle of the shimmery crystal effects yesterday in my drawer. I was really tempted. I don't know what I'm saving them for. Okay, so second card, I use this paper from the Earth and Elegance suite. And then we've got our white card base. Is the quality glitchy for anybody? It looks a little bit glitchy on my end. Guess I could use my bone folder. So this is going to be a hamburger fold card. Yes, I was kind of hoping maybe they would bring it back, this mini catalog, but whoops, sorry about that. It's not. So not glitchy. Okay, good. Guess it's just me. So one of the things that I really love or really have enjoyed doing lately is finding designer series papers that we have that aren't necessarily coordinated with a bundle or suite, but that work with other stamp sets that we have. And so I thought this was a fun paper to pick to go with this card. One, because these cards tend to lean more towards the masculine side. Oops, I got to pick this up. And this paper just has some really super neat patterns. Okay, not glitchy. Everyone says it's fine. All right, I guess it's just me, which is typical. You know, you never know. So this strip here is just the back side of this other pattern. So once you cut it will be cut for you, but if you were to do this at home, the strip that you cut off to make this a shorter panel is just this. Kathy says, apply the crystal effects after you're live, then nobody would know. That's true. That's very true. Another neat thing I thought that you could do using this, these two sheets, was if you wanted to pop up this larger piece of DSP and lay this and have the strip be flat. I thought that would give some really nice dimension as well. So that's something you can try with your kit. Okay, so we'll need another circle. Not one that has glue on it. Oh, that's the back side anyway, so no one cares. And then you will need a beer glass with pecan pie, a beer glass with copper clay, and then your two remaining foam pieces. And you will stamp the white strip in your kit with this sentiment, another round for your birthday, if that's what you choose to use. You can use any sentiment you want, but that's what I chose because it fit the size of the strip I was using. And then we're going to adhere one of our beer glasses. We're going to put these at just a little bit of an angle, kind of like they're giving themselves some cheers. And this one I'm going to pop, I'm going to stick on my finger first. I'm going to pop up with dimensionals. I don't know why I use liquid glue. I mean, I know why I use liquid glue, but man, am I messy with liquid glue. And then I'm going to want to put dimensionals on the back of this. Excuse the stamped, whatever was stamped on the back of there. And I'm just grabbing the minis. I'm using the black ones because that's what was in front of me. But you can either cut down a regular dimensional or use the, I know a lot of people have the white dimensionals, the white minis, but I just wanted to grab these first. So, all right. So there you have your two glasses. Adhere to your circle. And then I am also going to pop this up. Now this will not need dimensionals all the way across because this glass is flat. So I will just put glue on this part and I'll put a dimensionals on this part. And I want to use the same type of dimensional that's on the glass because there are varying heights in our foam products. They are minuscule, but they are there. Sorry if I'm going off screen. I know. Did you see my comment, Tammy, on your post when you posted that on my Facebook page? I plan on sending this to my brother for his birthday. And there's your sentiment. And your card is done. Okay, so let's move on to our last card. And our last card uses the Glorious Gingham paper. Make sure I haven't left anything in my envelope. Oh, I did not emboss this little piece of paper here. Guess I forgot to do that. So you're going to have these two strips, and we are going to do a partial stamping for the sentiment. So we're going to tape off part of the sentiment to use that. So let's go ahead and adhere our paper first. Now you could choose, by the way, this is pecan pie in the Glorious Gingham. You could choose to use whichever side of the pattern you like. It does not have to be the smaller one. That's just what I chose. Especially because I felt like it wasn't as overwhelming. Yes, Kathy, get busy and use it and post what you made because I want to see. I just think there's so many fun things you could do with this stamp set. I mean, it doesn't have to be alcoholic beverages. It could be lots of different things. Okay, so we've got our Glorious Gingham down. Now I forgot to emboss the panel, so I'm going to have to do that, I guess. How exciting for everybody to watch me emboss. So like I said, I used this folder, sorry, from the Basics 3D. I've got to set my machine on top of everything. Okay. Sorry. Ugh. I have gotten so much use out of this set of embossing folders. I absolutely love them. So we look at all my Post-it flags just sticking there. So it's platform 1. This is a 3D embossing folder. So your sandwich is platform 1, your embossing folder with the paper inside, and then plate 4. And you just roll it on through, right? I'm right, guys? Okay. I'm like, there's so much resistance. What am I doing? Robin, it's funny, Robin, when you type stuff in, it doesn't always come in like in as a picture. So right now it just says face blue, wide eyes, face blue, wide eyes, face blue, wide eyes. So I'm guessing that means you really like it. I don't know. Hey, Becky, welcome. Thanks for joining us. All the way from Kansas. How fun. We are just on our last card. And I forgot to emboss something pre-video, so I had to do that. But I will show all the cards again at the end so you can see them. Oh, I wonder, maybe it's just my software, Patty, that they don't, because I'm not on YouTube. So maybe they only come through if you're on YouTube. That's funny. Robin's sending me code. All right. So, and I don't know, I don't normally say this in my videos, Becky, but I'm an organ. So welcome, welcome. We have several people here that are from California, and we've got Ohio, all over the place. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere our emboss strip. And remember, when you use the embossing folders, you can choose the side you want to use. Now, granted, on some of them, you might not like the debossed side because maybe you think it looks weird, but you can choose whichever one. And on this card, I'm actually going to choose the debossed side because I can. And we will just go ahead and put this, center it, and make sure everything's even all the way around, or as even as you can. Oh, Kathy, Wisconsin. Wow. We are everywhere. If you have any questions, Becky, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Or you can always leave a comment when you watch the replay, whatever's easiest for you. Okay, so again, we have our circle from Stitch Shapes. Is that what they're called? No, Stylish Shapes. I keep calling them Stitch Shapes. Oh, boy. Okay, and then we have our 2 glasses that have been stamped in Memento Black and Pecan Pie. So let's go ahead and get those adhered down. You could pop one of these up too, but I just stuck with them both. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't adhere the circle down first, but we're just going to pretend. No, it never fails. You have everything you think pre-cut and ready, and then, Lordy, you forget something else. All right. So now I'll put the circle on. You could also pop up the circle. But I realize not everybody likes to add dimension to their cards or has the supplies to do so. And keep in mind that all of these can be made without any of the stamps popped up. They can all just be glued flat to your card if you like. Okay. So then we have another strip of Glorious Gingham in Pecan Pie. And I'm going to use the opposite side and adhere that down. Oh, you are? Well, welcome, welcome. We have a fellow demonstrator in the chat. We are all demonstrators. For anybody who is in the chat participating right now, everyone here is also a demonstrator, Becky. How many people stayed up late to pre-order and are tired this morning? I almost put creamer in the water tank of my coffee maker this morning. How about that? That would have been tasty. Okay, so now we're going to do some partial stamping, and I need to grab my foam mat that is wrapped in this piece of grid paper. Yes. And for us West Coasters, I mean, we don't have to stay up that late. But people in like the East Coast, I mean, 2 a.m., hot dog. That would make me tired. Okay. So for this card, I used For Your Birthday, and that is the lower half of this stamp set right here. So what I did is I took a piece of clear tape and I just taped off the part that I don't want to ink up. So yeah, Robin's in Eastern time. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, well, it'll be worth it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this like I'm stamping normally. And then once I get the ink on my stamp, it looks good to me. I'm just going to take the tape off, trying to avoid getting ink all over my fingers. And then I'm going to do my best to stamp this in the center of the strip of paper. Not like that. We're going to flip that over. Oh gosh, I knew this was going to happen. I was like, Marcee, why do you think you can do this on camera? All right. And I don't want to touch that piece of tape that has ink on it because I know myself well enough to know that that is going to end up everywhere. I might even throw it at my shirt. Okay. So that looks good. Let's try this again. No, Robin, no. Kathy says, not me. I'm going to wait a few days. I need to get the paper catalog in my hot little hand so I can drool some more. I know. I can't wait to get my paper catalog. I know, Robin, but you need to check flights when it gets closer. Like check flights in January or February. Because I really want you to come to Houston. And, you know, I mean, I might have to go sell my plasma or something. Yes, keep checking. Okay, so back to this disaster. So let's see if we can do it better this time. We, as if you're culpable with me for my poor stamping skills. There we go. Okay, so that's how I do partial stamping. Now, with some stamps, you could easily, because of the way that our Stampin' Up! Ink pads are designed, and because the edges are so flat when you open them, it's very easy with some stamps to just go in and put ink on the stamp where you want. But for this one, I really felt like I needed to tape it off. So that's what I did. And then this is just going to go straight across here. We're just going to pretend that never happened. I'm really, really, really hoping that a lot of people make it this year or next year. It's the first Stampin' Up! Event, like live, real people event in a long time. And I, for one, am very excited. I will be there. Okay. And that's it for the third card. So let me go ahead and bring out all of the cards. So the first one we did was the blueberry bushel that has the background stamping, so we can kind of make our own paper, pattern paper. And then this one that used the Earth and Elegance paper. Well, it's from the Earth and Elegance suite. Sorry, I don't know the technical name because I didn't look that up. And then this one using the Glorious Gingham. So these cards are super easy to make and fun. They just use a few colors of ink. And I think they make really great masculine cards. And we have lots of other sentiments that you could mix and match if you wanted to use some of the other products that you have. So that is what I have for you this week. As usual, this is my card class to go that I do each week. And the products to make these cards, minus the stamps and dies that coordinate with the stamps, everything that can be used to create these cards is free with a purchase in my online store. And you can visit my website to find out more about how that works. It is linked in the description. And if you have any questions, please always reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer questions or help. So thank you. Thank you. I hope I will see some of you on Saturday. Does anybody want to see a sneak peek of the cards I made for Saturday? I'm doing my new August series is a sneak peek series. So it's going to be showing you products from the new mini catalog. And I've already done my cards for the Saturday video because luckily we were, Patty, of course, because luckily we were able to pre-order a bundle back in May. And that is what I decided to use. So I wasn't rushing to try to get some cards done for my Saturday series. So I used the Translucent Florals bundle. And I'm going to show them quick because I want you to come back Saturday. So here's card 1. Here's card 2. And here's card 3. That's all you get. So that's what I will be creating on Saturday. My Saturday videos are premieres. So I will be live in the chat, but the video isn't actually alive. So I won't be creating at that time. So hopefully I will see you then. And I hope you all have an incredible rest of your day and rest of your week. And I will see you here next week. Same time, same place. Thank you, everybody. Talk soon.